People. What's good? Let me first get into this. I don't know what the heck I did for the second episode. I recorded it and I thought I recorded it, but it wasn't on my memory card. So I done messed up, which means I'm going to combine 2 and 3 for the sake of brevity and then really just kind of run through this. I know I'm a little behind, but I will be caught up after this weekend. Okay, so let's just dive right into it with no further ado. Big Brother Season 26, Episode 2. Okay, so Quinn, a nurse recruiter from Omaha. He's 5'6", and he's a super fan. Instantly, he comes off pretty likable. I guess I'm curious how the super fan is going to play it. Sometimes they play too hard, too early, where you get Ovi? But so far, off the initial impression, seems pretty decent. Next, we have Brooklyn, business admin from Dallas, Texas. She is a pageant coach and a mom of 3. She's pretty hot, especially for a mama of 3. Matt, an account exec, nature boy. I put him here as nature boy. Likes outside, loves all that kind of stuff. Filipino mother, super competitive. No real initial thoughts. Lisa, LA, celebrity chef, owns a catering company, loves bathing suits, and she coins herself as the vibe curator. Next, we have Leah from Miami, a cocktail waitress, and people assume she's just another dumb blonde, but she is another boss babe. She owns an underwear company, and she is a self-proclaimed chubby chaser. And the thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way already was...
I can't even believe a guy has ever won Big Brother ever, because guys are so easy to manipulate.
She has never seen a game of Big Brother if she cannot believe why men win most of the time. Oh boy. Inevitably, every season, there's a woman who's going to talk about how she's going to manipulate a man, et cetera, et cetera. But what's interesting is when they're trying to do it via tears or, I guess you don't see the flirt game as much as usually just crying and getting overly emotional. Then they paint that guy as a villain when he obviously sees that you're manipulating and it's really just not working on him, right? And that's really just the kind of the fallback. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, have no opinions. Cedric from Boise, Idaho, former Marine intelligence analyst, and he won the Marine of the Year. He was raised by his grandmother. He's open to a showmance, and his nickname is Playboy. And his plan is to conceal the strategic parts of him. So we'll see. T-Core from the ATL, Georgia, business owner, hand makes crochet clothing and accessories. She was raised by 2 lesbian women, and she was on the speech and debate team. So I'm excited to, first initial impressions, I like her. Plus, she reminds me from my buddy in high school who had a very similar background, raised in the UK and in Africa, and he had this really weird accent, very similar to hers. It was very distinct. But another boss babe, Kenny. I'm wondering how you guys are going to feel about him, because often I see, especially you people of a certain group of politics tend to really hate police officers. So I'm wondering if you guys are still sticking to the, what do you guys call them? The all cops are bastards, the ACAB stuff. I'm curious about that, if you're still gonna feel the same way about him. Brother died from an addiction and he plans to be the dad, the friend, and the confidant. So Quinn, T-Core, Matt, and Leah are next to enter. And oh boy, I can already see that Matt is full of himself. I don't believe when he says he's gonna stab everybody in the back. I smell bitch in him. Cedric, Lisa, Kenny, and Brooklyn are next to enter. And Kenny is the gentleman who holds the door open for everyone. So this time the game is a little bit different. The upgrade is going to be AI chip install, where the housemates must insert parts into the motherboard into a room that's kind of moving around. And the downgrade is facial recognition system. And so you have to use your face to move these discs along a certain pattern and drop them in the holes to get the points. Quinn voted yes, and Leah voted yes. So those are the only two who voted yes. This time it was 2-6 versus the first one was 4-4. Obviously the rest voted no, and so they are going to be in the downgrade. And it looks like the house guests are facing a tough time. So all of the house guests finally meet, and Julie calls everybody to the room to sit down. And Ainsley won't tell who the winners are, but will tell everybody who the losers are. This happens far too often. It's always the black people. Always the people of color. Chelsea and Cedric perform the worst and will have their games downgraded. So they're going to be BB AI mascots, so they can't compete for the HOH or the veto. They will also not be voting, but both are eligible to be nominated. So that is the end of episode 2. Let's jump into episode 3 real quick. They're pretty much all boss babes. So they have found the most state-of-the-art modern woman, probably with the exception of Angela. Most of them are some type of business owners or entrepreneurs, and boy, those are the difficult women. It just is what it is. They don't need no man. So far we have Rabina, Mackenzie, Chelsea, Brooklyn, Lisa, Leah, Takor. All some type of boss babe, business owner, all type. This is interesting. So I guess I am curious to see how they're going to fare. They're usually very disagreeable, pretty vocal, and overall unpleasant people to deal with. But I guess the way they're going to play the game is different. I'm sure a lot of them are going to lack self-awareness, as most people do. But anyway, so Tucker begins with the introduction, says that he's a chef, and Lisa does not miss the opportunity to interject and make it all about her. I hate her already. I don't like the vibe stuff. The chick who had the meltdown on the puzzle, the vibe chick, the energy people, oh, they come off incredibly disingenuous. They are so fake. It is obvious. But at least when Lisa came up to speak, Tucker also responded, "I'm a chef." So at least he acknowledged what she did. Rabina shares her age, 35. She looks pretty good for her age. And, you know, her and Matt share the Filipino thing. Cedric lies about what he does, but honestly, probably for the best, because people tend to jump to conclusions early on. If he tells them he's some type of analyst, that's just more of a justification, especially early on, for him to paint a target on his back. Any reason to vote you out, right? Angela just needs a break from life. As they start going through some of these introductions, it appears that Angela just needs a break from life. Quinn, I got chronically single. Brooklyn in the 4 kid club. I thought she said 3. Maybe I misheard that or miswrote it down. Matt, single, ready to mingle. The AI chica, Angela, needs 4 volunteers. And this comes with its normal suite of accoutrements, which means coach hours, slop, and you're sleeping in a have-not room on a very uncomfortable bed. Tucker, Cam, Chemo, and Quinn, they're the first 4 to volunteer to be have-nots. And in typical fashion, equality is nowhere to be seen when the women have to raise their hands and step up to be equal parts of the game. But of course not. You must play the game. And just like Chemo said, of course, get those gold stars. So Matt and Kenny, they share a bit of a bond. military and police officer thing. So that looks like that might be a stable relationship moving forward. And then the next clip is when they go into the room and Rabina is surrounded by all the other women. And my observation could be off, but it's always the least attractive who's trying to talk about, wow, we are awesome, badass bitches, just so she can be a part of that group. Anyway, and the girls chat begins. And at least someone, I don't even remember who, was smart enough to acknowledge that it never works, right? To acknowledge this early is to live in reality. That is great to see so early on. Thanks for asking why. And that's usually because a showmance arises and now she's forced to make a weird decision, even though she's got her emotions invested in that guy, or they just can't win competitions and they have to attach themselves to a strong man who's going to help them win competitions so they can further their game. The other thing that kind of annoys me, and I guess it's just par for the course, it's just girls doing what girls do, but people always make the case for their specific situation like it actually matters. There's never been a married woman mother to win Big Brother. There's never been a lot of things to win Big Brother. How is that significant to the game? How does it add any value to the game? So there's an interesting conversation in the bathroom where Matt and Cam are having a conversation about, lower tightness in the back, and that Cam is a physical therapist and can kind of help with some of those things. And then Angela kicks it off with a dumbass remark about Cam not helping Matt. She obviously said it in jest, but it's just too early in the game, and any little excuse to run with something can paint a target on your back. And she is far too vocal, and it just might cost her early on. So Ainsley calls everyone front and center and reveals what the upgrade comp winners win. And it's a secret, so this adds some additional excitement. Okay, I did a double take when Mackenzie won. I did not even recognize her. Wow. Makeup definitely does some incredible things. It's like an AI filter of sorts. She wins America's veto and can save someone or herself from the block, and she has 4 weeks to use it. Quinn is the second winner. It's the deepfake HOH. He can strip the HOH of their power and secretly control their nominations. He can also spread misinformation, rumors, and he also has 4 weeks to use that ability. Ainsley appears again and lets everybody know that there's going to be 3 nominations for the HOH. If there is a veto used, then they will nominate to keep 3 house guests on the block. Before the vote, the 3 house guests will compete in an AI arena, and the winner gets off the block. This game is called New Rule, and the game begins. There are 14 house guests, and they need to get in groups of 3. So that means there's only 4 groups of 3, and 2 people are going to be left out. And that leaves Tucker and Mackenzie out of the game. And this is a similar game, sliding the puck, getting the higher number without falling over on the end. There's usually some type of variation of this game pretty frequently throughout the Big Brother history. Quinn, Matt, and Kenny win, and they have to eliminate a team, and they eliminate Chemo, Brooklyn, and Rabina. So the next rule is that the team has to compete against each other. The highest stays, and the other 2 are eliminated. So Kenny wins from his team, Leah advances, and Angela does as well. The next new rule is the highest score wins, but you can't get an even number. And lucky number 26 for Leah that's what she gets, and it counts as 0. Angela gets a 23 and wins the game. So Angela is the first HOH of Big Brother 26, and boy, did she need it. So Kenny must have displayed some phenomenal athletic prowess and has shown Angela what type of competitor he is, because she's intimidated by him. We're just sliding pucks here, guys. We're just sliding some pucks. So I don't know what it was. I don't know what she saw. But one thing that I did see is Matt is a damn fool and can't keep his mouth shut. And you notice that the dumb hot guys can't ever miss an opportunity to make it all about them. So he is quickly rubbing me the wrong way. He does not know how to play the damn game. It's too early. Just shut up. Just shut up. Lisa seems to be on the radar, and I don't like her from the beginning. I don't like the vibe people. I don't like the boss babes, and I don't like the fact that she interrupted him and made it about herself at the very beginning. So anyway, Matt and Angela are having a conversation in the HOH room, and it seems like she's reassuring him, and he comes in with a low-key threat of saying that he's not the one to play with, basically flexing his lack of big brother IQ and showing insane amounts of arrogance. So I'm guessing the three people going up are Lisa, Matt, and Kenny. If he made that threat to her and she doesn't put him up, I think that's kind of weird. Obviously, it's bad gameplay. She's intimidated by Kenny, and for whatever reason, she said that they show the interaction with Lisa. So we'll see how that goes. The nominations actually are Lisa, Chemo, and Kenny. And Angela starts to cry. Does that give you backstabbing? I'm going to be this kind of person. Why does everybody think that they have the ability? It's like one of those things that Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So everybody has this great plan of what they're going to do. They think that they're this kind of player, or they think that they can just turn this on. That is a very hard thing to do. You just have to be built that way in order to backstab people. And you have to be able to sit with that guilt. You have to be able to understand that it's just a game and be able to separate that emotional part. But it also makes you look like a psychopath because, well, we are human beings. And if you can really suppress that, it might show signs of a personality thing. Okay, so let's talk about crying for a bit. When a baby cries, they want something. Babies often use crying to manipulate. For better or for worse, it is meant to move you from one emotional state to another. This might be from being apathetic to all of a sudden being empathetic, or to change your behaviors from something that did not benefit them to something that benefits them. This is almost always the case. So you have someone who's using it in order to change someone's behavior, AKA manipulation. And so there's a very delicate dance that you have to do here, because if you show that you're not affected by it at all, it comes to bite you in the ass because you look like a heartless person and nobody's going to trust you. And so because of this, it does force you to be disingenuous. It does force you to be a little fake, pretending like you care when you really don't, because you kind of have to play the game. And so I guess we'll see how that plays out. Wonderful people, I am Reed Richards. Thank you for watching. I will catch you on the next episode. Peace.